Ring on Your Parade. Ring on Your Parade is a casual physics-based indie game in which the player will play as a little white cloud made of cardboard, moving and running across the map to perform mischief. The style of this game is a mix of 2D head printing and 3D, and the overall style is charming. The colors are bright, and the levels are rich and varied. Gameplay. Players can manipulate clouds to move, ring, and use special abilities. Different lacquers have different effects. Ring can wet objects, damage appearance, and extinguish flames. Gasoline can ignite things. Nuclear waste water can emit radiation. Paint can stain, and snowflakes can make people slap. Special abilities include flash blacks, black hole drain, and tornado. This game has physical effects. The default ring and special skills can collide with items in the level so that the entire scene enters a state of chaos. Game UI. Ring on Your Parade HUD design is very simple, with all the target on the left and the start of rainwater on the right. Each goal marked with a star is the game's primary goal. In addition to specific level and selected maps, players can also enter the wardrobe to change the clothes. You can even customize the cloud's face. Game levels. Each level has its scenario, player abilities, and clarion goals. The interface of the game's selection level is interactive. In some earlier stages, without the help of special abilities, it is impossible to unlock all clarions conditions for the first time. The sub-goals of the game may be challenging and require players to try multiple times to achieve them. Game theme. Each level has a unique theme, often associated with classic games and movies. For example, It Came From the Sky corresponds to Night of the Living Dead. Stop the Hikers corresponded to the classic game Aquinoid. Westworld, Moon, Jurassic World, and Doom. Each theme also corresponds to a different way of playing. The most common ones are to wed specific targets, provoke passerbys, create fires, destroy items, avoid enemies, tower defense gameplay, and high-score gameplay. Ring on Your Parade have a lot of impressive levels. While playing, the developer can create a good sense atmosphere with just some simple low poly. Because my game also have this top-down perspective, their level layout is worth learning from, especially the proportions and colors of items and the placement rules of some scenes items. 2. Game Development Progress Report. Week 9 keywords, UFO sprites, and cat AI design. Based on the feedback, my first version of UFO was very hidden on the map. I need to change the shape and color, so I used AI software, Stable Diffusion, to design a UFO. Then, I pixelate this UFO, and it becomes what it is now. Next, I made some UFO animations. After fixing the UFO, I started designing the cat AI. My design idea is like this. First, the cat speed is a little faster than the speed of the UFO. Then, like the typical anime design, the cat has a perception range. The cat will be alert when the player enters a specific field and run away quickly. Ideally, the cat will be stopped for about 0.2 seconds after spotting the player. At this time, an exclamation mark pops up on the cat's head. At the golden 0.2 seconds, players can use special skills, such as shockwaves, control the cat to prolong the shot time, and then approach the cat to start sucking. I think it's too hard to code this part, so maybe try it later. Going back to the AI design of the cat. The cat off-screen is a very big problem for the player. It reminds me the early days of Monster Hunter. Players may not know where the monsters were, so in Monster Hunter World, the prey tracking system can guide players to find their way. Well, my game also need to help the player to fight the targets. There are many solutions. Idea 1. Make a mini-map that shows the cat's locations on the map. Idea 2. Let the kitten leave cute cat paw traces. The footprint route will disappear over time. Idea 3. A pointer is displayed around the UFO, and the arrow points the nearest kitten. Idea 4. Keep the kittens with inside. Well, I like to try idea 1 and 4, but the UI I'm using right now is not supporting the first idea. I will think about it later. So how do you keep kittens within sight? Very simple, decide another perception range. In this way, the cat has two perception ranges, and these two ranges form a concentric circle, and the ring shape is the movement range of the player. When the player approaches a line, the kitten flees into a random direction. When the player comes to the big circle, the kitten moves towards the player and stops at a certain distance. This reverse hit and run ensures that players sees at least one kitten. For further design, the players enters the surveillance range. The kitten will make a seductive cat meow. The kitten will start to whir when the player enters the alert field. Finally, the players successfully suck the cat. The kitten will make another frightened meow. After that, there will be a strange hey 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 sound or kissing sound. What a delicious cat! Week 10 keywords, UFO sucking function and design of suck logic. Last week, I successfully designed the AI basic logic of the cat. Next is the essential UFO cat sucking function. The goal I want to achieve is that the players presses the keyboard R to suck the cat, and the cat will gradually get smaller until the kitten disappears from the screen. Next, the player's UI interface will prompt the cat to enter the inventory. Players must bring the cat back to the base as successfully caught. If the UFO runs out the fuel on the way back to the base, the system will release the cat on the spot and empty the UFO's inventory. Since I need to know how to make a backpack system, I will change this idea and let the cat teleport directly to the base. Due to my limited development ability, I plan first to try make the R key to suck the cat. We can first confirm that there will be two scripts, cat and UFO. There is more than one cat in the current scene, so a script is placed on the UFO that takes effect when the player presses the R key. Another script is placed on other cats, echoing the function of the UFO. The first is an if statement. When the player presses the R key, the Unity engine should update the statement in real time and is placed in update here. When sucking cat, first of all, to prevent cat from running around, you need to turn off the AI logic of the cat. I didn't turn off the AI, which caused the cat to run away as soon as it gets close to the UFO. At the same time, I adjust the sucking range to make it feel better. Next, the function needs to read the coordinate position from the cat body as the starting point of the displacement. Then, open the cat's sucked state and turn off the physical collection property of the cat. If the collection is not turned off, the UFO will always be headed in one direction by the cat. Finally, when the cat is fully sucked, teleport the cat back to the base. The timing needs to be controlled. After the UFO's function logic is completed, a function to find the nearest cat needs to be designed. My design is to pick up only one cat at a time and only carry one when shipping. Then it would be helpful if I calculated the distance between each cat and the UFO and then took this distance data ratios to find the minimal value. I can use algorithm to do this. Suppose a cat is the minimal value and then compare it with another cat, which requires the list, and return a game object after traversing the list, which is the nearest kitten. Next is the response of the kitten. First, turn on the sucked state of the cat. When sucked, the kitten will start from the current position and regardlessly moving closer to the player. The logic from point A to point B needs to know the cat coordinates and the UFO coordinates. Here I use the LERP method, which can make the movement smoother. Set the public progress value t and a sucked speed to adjust the field. Next is to change the size of the kitten from 1 to 0. It needs to be synchronized on the UI later, so I won't write it for now. When the cat size is completely 0, teleport the cat directly from the players to the base. Here I intended to change the coordinate value of the cat object instantly. After the cat arrived at the base, everything needs to be restored to the cat. 1. Turn off the sucked state. 2. Turn on the AI logic of the cat, and it will not have animation when turned off. 3. Restore the cat size from 0 to 1. Also, turn on the cat collision effect. 4. The most recent cat recorded on the UFO needs to be cleaned. Otherwise, the cat will fly directly from the base when the player sucks it again. Finally, build and enclose the base, and you can go home and watch the terrified kittens run wild. 3. Discuss the next steps. In the next week, I will continue to develop the core function of the UFO and try to achieve the sneaky catching of the cat mentioned before. For the UI design, it is the best to make the UI pixel, especially the fuel consumption update, and determine the functionality needed for the final vertical slide.